process of creating a fulfilling life, a fulfilling day, right? We always think, how can I create a fulfilling life if I just get that body, if I get my health under control, if I get that money, if I get that career, if I get that relationship, then my life will be fulfilling. And then sometimes we get there and we might be happy for a little bit, but then we get this feeling of feeling unsettled back in. How do we, on a consistent basis, create a fulfilling life, a life that feels good? A lot of times, to a highly sensitive, that means a calm life, a centered life, a life that feels easy, right? A life that feels joyful. How do we get there? Today, our topic, and I'm taking this, right? I'm doing my daily lives, my daily fire on my growth app with Brendon Burchard after just going to the GrowthDay event, which was epic. So we're on our third day today that we're doing this, and today's topic in the growth app for daily fire was forced resets. Now, I know even Brendon mentioned it, like forced is not his favorite word, but he has a point of like, we need to force ourselves to reset all throughout the day in order to have that kind of energy, that kind of life that we are looking for, right? So for me, instead of calling it a forced reset, which I understand why, and if that word jives with you, keep it. If that's something that's going to get you to do it, go for it. What I call it for my highly sensitive clients and fellow friends is my bliss list. What is my bliss list, right? I have all kinds of things on my bliss list, which are things that I enjoy, things that inspire me, things that pull me out of a negative mood, things that pull me out of low energy when I need it, right? What is on my daily or on my bliss list? And that kind of goes over and hand in hand with what I call my 5-minute mood changers, right? My 5-minute mood changers. Those are things that you can really do all throughout the day, right? So look on that bliss list. What inspires you? What ignites you? What makes you feel good? What makes you feel alive? And is there something that you can take onto your 5-minute mood changers, right? Like listening to a song, like dancing, like taking a quick walk outside, like stepping on the balcony and just feeling that sunshine in your face. What is it that you can do quickly to reset yourself, to take that moment, to take your breath? Now I will share my favorite 4 that have been of most value and just the most impactful in my life in the last few weeks. Brendon shares his 4. If you're curious about that, you're gonna have to do the 7-day free trial on the Growth app and join the Daily Fire and get his take on his favorite 4. But I will share mine. Should we jump in? Yes. First, I want to remind us, right? Why is this important? Why is it important? Ask yourself this, because if you're not going to make it important, you're not going to do it, right? You're like, oh, that sounds like a great idea. I might implement this at some point. Why is this vitally important, especially for highly sensitive people? Because we're much more quickly to burn out, right? I love this quote. This was part of the Daily Fire today. Brendon's quote: your family doesn't need you burned out. Your team doesn't need you burned out. Your future self doesn't need you burned out. And the biggest opportunity on your plate today doesn't need you burned out. And who likes to feel burned out? None of us do. Well, a lot of times we don't notice it until it's way too late. So how do we proactively get ourselves into an even energy, a good feeling energy, right? As highly sensitives, we have to protect our energy more than anyone else. How do we do it? Well, part of it is pre-planning your day, right? Making sure you're not putting too many big things on your plate, making sure you're planning in those breaks, and not just time frame breaks, but also what am I going to do in those breaks in order to refresh, reset, replenish? And that's exactly what we're talking about today, right? What is it that refuels you? What is it that calms you down, right? maybe first check in with you right after that and be like, after the first segment is done and you have a little time to reset for the next, ooh, what do I need right now? That's one of my favorite questions. What do I need right now? It reconnects you to yourself. It reconnects you to your self-worth because you're telling yourself, I'm important. How I'm feeling is important. I'm focused. I'm aware. I'm present. I am here, right? What do I need right now? What does my body need right now? Do I need energy because I'm feeling super flat? Or do I need way too overstimulated? Do I need calm? Do I need ease, right? I have several, right? One of the ones I do, actually, this could go for both. If I need to chill, if I need to calm down, or if I need more energy, this, I would say the most often I use this first one is when I'm anxious or when my body isn't feeling good, right? When your body gives you some kind of feedback where your mind goes out of control, anxiety, what is that? What is this signal about? I lay on the floor. I put on Wim Hof, 10-minute, or I think it's 11-minute guided breathing, and he guides you through 3 cycles of deep breath. Now, of course, if you've never done this, take it easy. Make sure you're laying down. Make sure you don't have to drive right after, but start to breathe. Deep breathing. If you don't have Wim Hof right there, you don't have 10 or 11 minutes, do square breathing, right? 4 counts in, hold for 4 counts, 4 counts out, hold out for 4 counts. Do it again. The slow, deep inhale and holding and exhale, and even just the counting engages your mind, calms down your nervous system. Ooh, works wonders for me. The second one, right? Another one that I like to do, this is when I need to get a little bit of movement in my body, when I've been sitting too long, when I'm feeling stagnant, when I'm feeling my lower back being a little achy. I do a little bit of a yoga flow, right? Sun salutations. Love this. I love Travis Elliott on YouTube. Oh my gosh, he's amazing. I love his calming voice. I like what he's about. I just put on a quick yoga flow and follow along. The other thing I might do if I don't have or if I don't want to do a yoga flow, I'll get on the rebounder, right? A little mini trampoline over and over and over. This has come up in all kinds of healing modalities. And I've studied a lot about alternative healing, about healing from cancer, about healing from all kinds of ailments. And it always comes back down to the rebounder. Get on the rebounder, have a little mini trampoline. So good for your lymphatic system, so good for you. Number 3, this is one of my favorites. This is one when I'm just like, oh my God, I'm done, right? If I'm just like, I'm overwhelmed, I'm stressed, I have a headache, I don't feel good, I'm just like, can't focus, and I have 5 minutes. What am I gonna do, right? Hopefully you're at home or somewhere where you feel comfortable laying down. I suppose you could do this in the chair. It'd be a lot harder though, because I really like to lay on the floor. Lay on the floor, close your eyes, breathe deep into your belly, and then I imagine everything sinking into the floor, like everything gets really heavy. My head is heavy. My shoulder blades are heavy. My elbows and wrists are sinking into the floor. They're heavy. My hips are heavy. My knees, my ankles, my feet, they're heavy. Everything just melting into the floor by just imagining things being really heavy. It really helps to ground me because I'm somebody who likes to float out in space all the time. So it helps to ground me, and it really helps to let go of tension. It's incredible how much tension we're holding that we're not even aware of. Now, one of the ones, the last one I'm going to mention, number 4, is also something that Brendon mentioned, and I love this one, and he reminded me of it again at the seminar that I just went into, and I love this one because it really speaks a lot to his character and who he is. He's like, Especially when I get home at night, I like to sit in the car for a few moments and center myself and set an intention for how I want to walk in through the door in order to greet my family, right? I want to enter, as I forget his words, they're so beautiful, as a present and happy and open man, right? It's like I love those words, and it really reminded me of a technique that Abraham Hicks, one of my favorite channeled beings and spiritual teachers, they share a tool called segment intending. And they really say every time throughout your day when a new segment is starting, which is all the time, right? If you go in the kitchen, that's a new segment. If you're helping your kid get dressed, that's a new segment. If you're driving in the car, that's a new segment. If you're eating lunch, that's a new segment. If you're going into a meeting, that's a new segment, right? A new segment, every time a new segment begins, take just a few moments and ask yourself, what is most important during this segment, right? What is the outcome that I want? Why am I even participating in this segment, right? What am I wanting to get out of this? This is so significant, especially if you start doing this before interacting with your loved ones, right? Sometimes I catch myself driving to school to pick up my kid, and I'm either like thinking of all the stresses, all the to-dos that I still have to do, which I then offload onto my phone, right? I'm just like talking into the mic, like, okay, gotta do this, gotta do this, gotta do this, just to clear my mind. Or I listen to something that kind of gets me in good spirits. If I catch myself going, oh my God, I hope my kid's not going to be in a challenging mood. He was so grumpy yesterday. So many times he doesn't want to leave. He still wants to play with his friends, but we have to get to soccer practice. This is going to be challenging. When I catch myself going in that spiral of like negative anticipation, I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I create my own reality. How can I set positive intention, right? How can I be more playful about this? How can I expect the best? Because we do have days where my kid is just charged up. He's happy go lucky. He's ready to go. He's excited, right? So, how can I put this out, right? The question of what is it that I do want, right? So, so beautiful. And that's it for today. So let's do a quick recap of what are we talking about? We're talking about preventing burnout. We're talking about what Brendon calls forced resets, what I like to call 5-minute mood changers, or your bliss list, right? Bringing a little bit more bliss into every day by being deliberate about it, by looking at your day ahead, either the night before or the morning of, and saying, ooh, okay, this is what I've got going on. And when you realize, ooh, this is going to be pretty energy draining, or as a highly sensitive, when you're like, ugh, I got this meeting and back to back with this meeting, or I'm going to have a longer engaged, like social engagement, and then I have my kids. Like when you see, especially things back to back that are going to be challenging for you, overwhelming for you potentially, a lot of energy drain for you, can you put those 5-minute mood changers in between? Right? Can you ask yourself, what can I do in just a few minutes to breathe, to reset? Can I even just close my eyes for 2 minutes and do some square breathing? What is it that you can do? I mentioned my top 4: breathing, some kind of breath work, some kind of movement like yoga flow or jumping on a mini trampoline. And my notes just went away. Here we go. Yes, my 5 minute of total chill, laying on the floor, feeling everything being heavy. And then the last one, segment intending. Can I be more intentional? Even when I know that this segment is going to be potentially draining. If you walk into a meeting going, ugh, these meetings are always so pointless. This is just stealing my time. I have so much more to do, but you have to be there. Well, you're kind of setting yourself up for failure, right? The way that you, oh gosh, what's the saying? The way that you define something is the way that you will experience it, right? So if you go into this meeting as this is pointless, this is going to steal my time, that's exactly what it's going to do, right? So even when there's something you don't want to do, can you set a positive intention of like, somebody in this meeting needs me to show up today, right? Maybe there's something positive that I can contribute. Maybe in this meeting, I'm going to have some kind of inspired thought that may or may not have anything to do with this meeting, but I'm going to be present and I'm going to be open and I'm going to bring the best of me, right? And then maybe bringing the best of me, then you can also help to shape this meeting a bit more for the future. So powerful to set intentions for your day. Those were my favorite 4 mood changers, daily bliss. What are yours? What are yours? Leave me a comment. Let me know what has really worked for you or what has really inspired you about today's inspiration. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you tomorrow.